evening and welcome to the Planning Commission of today, May 19th, 2020. If we can call this meeting to order, I would like everyone to stand so we can do the Pledge of Allegiance. So right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will go on to the roll call. Stephanie?
Thank you, Chair. For roll, I'll start with Commissioner Guerrero.
Had to unmute. Present.
Thank you. Chair Sanchez.
Present.
Commissioner Quill.
I'm here.
Vice Chair Jones.
Present.
Commissioner Wilbert.
He's here.
Present. Yep. Commissioner Chang.
Present.
Commissioner Jaramillo.
Present.
Commissioners Lopez and Liang are not present. We have quorum.
Now you can go back on mute.
Thank you, Stephanie. All right, so we'll go to, I think we can maybe forego doing the administration of oath since we just have calls and videos and messages. So we'll continue from there. We're going to go on to, before we do consent items, I do have a few things that we'll clarify for this meeting. That way it kind of runs smoothly. I spoke with Albert and he graciously kind of advised certain things and we were able to work out how we'll conduct this meeting. So we'll first hear public comments, then that will be followed by a staff report. Then we'll open public hearing. We'll then, after the staff report and public, we will hear from the applicant. Then kind of in the order of wards, I will be going down and hearing from the commissioners. So if you have a comment, we'll be going down the line. Once that is done, just raise your hand. If you have a rebuttal or something more to add, then I will call on you. Once all of that is set. Yes, Albert?
Yes, Madam Chair. So can we just open the public hearing before we hear the first public comment? Yes.
Yes. So we will be opening public hearing and then we will open
Great.
public comment. Perfect. So once we have gone through, all of the commissioners once through for each of the, for the item, just raise your hand if you have additional comments you want to make. Then we can let the applicant, respond to that. And we will have a roll call vote. So we will close public comments and then we will have a motion, a second, just like normal. And we will have a roll call vote. So Stephanie will be calling everyone out and you can express your vote. So that makes it clear. We will also, if there is anyone that needs to take a break, hopefully the meeting won't go too long since we only have 4 agenda items. But if anyone needs to take a break, please just kind of raise your hand and make that known so that we still maintain quorum. Another thing that we also want to take care of is, does anyone have a connection with any of these agenda items?
A conflict of interest?
Yes, that they need to be excused at this time? No? Okay. That way we'll be able just to continue. If you do have a kind of a conflict of interest and you are involved with one of the items, just let us know. That way we can take you out before we discuss it and then bring you back afterwards. Okay? All right, so since we have all of those kind of down, we will start. We will have the consent items. Let's see, for the consent calendar minutes.
Yes, good evening, commissioners. Welcome back. I guess it's been a while, right? On the consent calendar, we have item number 1, which is the approval of the minutes for our last regular meeting, which was held on March the 10th, 2020. Those minutes are complete as submitted, and our recommendation is that they be approved. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Oliver. So at this point, I will open a public hearing for this item. Is there anyone wishing to speak? If not, then we will close public hearing and I will entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second it.
Second. All right. We have a motion. We have a second. Stephanie, if you could do the roll call vote.
Stephanie, you're on mute.
Oh, you're on mute.
Still getting used to this. Commissioner Guerrero.
Aye.
Thank you. Chair Sanchez.
Yes.
Commissioner Quill.
Aye. Yes.
Vice Chair Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Wilbert. Commissioner Chang.
Aye.
And Commissioner Jaramillo.
Aye.
The vote is unanimous.
All right. Perfect. All right. So we will continue on to public hearing items. So the Planning Commission will first hear a report. In this case, we'll first open public hearing, hear comments, but nonetheless, we will hear the report from staff. Public hearing will be opened. The applicant will have an opportunity to speak. Next, members of the public will be allowed to speak. Anyone in the audience wishing to speak must be sworn in. Since that's not going to happen with our Zoom, we can forego that. After all have spoken, the applicant will be allowed to respond. The public hearing will then be closed, and the Planning Commission will begin deliberations and make a decision. All actions except general plan amendments and amendments to the Municipal Development Code are final actions unless an appeal is filed and fee paid within 15 days to the Community Development Department. If you challenge the resultant action of the Planning Commission in court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at the public hearing described in this agenda or in written correspondence delivered to the Community Development Department at or prior to the public hearing. All right, going on. If we could have the staff report for the first item.
Yes.
Let me go ahead and get the item up.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yes, Commissioners. Item number 2 involves conditional use permit number 1713 and public convenience or necessity letter 18-06. The property is located on the south side of West Highland Avenue. It's adjacent to the 215 freeway and specifically right at the off-ramp, the northbound off-ramp that leads from the 215 onto Highland Avenue. The property contains approximately 2.7 acres. And the proposal involves a service station with 8 fueling pumps, a convenience store. They are also requesting an ABC Type 20, which is beer and wine license within the convenience store. The back of the convenience store also has a large storage building or area, so they can for the other uses on the site just for storage. There's also a quick serve restaurant, a restaurant with a drive-through, and a drive-through express car wash. This is a rendering of the site. This is looking from Highland. It would be looking at the convenience store, Arco station there on the right-hand side. You can see the pump islands. It's a kind of their traditional style of architecture that they're using for these facilities. This style of architecture will also be utilized for the other buildings on the property. And here's the aerial view of the site, kind of an irregularly shaped lot. And again, as you look at the lower left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the freeway, and then you'll see the off-ramp. You can see the arrows telling you turn right and left and what have you. And then so there's frontage. If you can go back to that one real quick, Stephanie. One of the things that I did want to point out is the street Davidson, which is, if you're looking at the slide, going from the left where it says West Highland Ave, right at the end of the E, you can see that there's a street that goes to the north. What the applicant has designed the project per the request of our traffic engineer and Caltrans to line up the driveway with that street that's across the road. There's also going to be a signal at that location to be provided by the applicant. Next slide, please, Stephanie. This is the zoning for the property. Surrounding, as you can see, is general commercial all the way around. Again, this is the site plan, and the building on the far left is the convenience store on the first half. If you recall that the site kind of has that triangular shape on the upper left-hand corner, the building is going to conform to that property line and kind of avoid that dead space in the back to keep the vagrants or people out of that area. I will show you another slide later on that kind of show kind of a treatment and some suggestions that staff has. So again, you would pull in, coming off of Davidson, and there's the two driveways. The other one that's in closer proximity to the drive-through restaurant to the right, and the car wash would be in the towards the back of the site. The other quick serve restaurant is to the south of the proposed convenience store that would be attached to it. And I have an elevation that will show that as well. This is essentially the floor plan for the convenience store. And as you can tell, to the left there is the quick serve restaurant, which will be a separate operator or business that would be located in there, like a Subway or maybe someone like that. Again, these are the elevations. The top one is the front elevation of the convenience store. The bottom two are the side and the end elevations for the express drive-through car wash. These are the elevations for the drive-through restaurant. This is the conceptual site plan. Now, this was done earlier on in the process. As a result, as we've routed this, application as part of the ABC application and kind of our interdepartmental review, that it was decided that we should kind of close up that space to that little triangular area adjacent to the freeway. Although the amenities of the landscaping and what have you do have somewhat of a benefit, we also wanted to be mindful of folks that wander around and such. So this was originally what was proposed. They want to put some pilasters and wrought iron to kind of make this being a kind of a major entry to the city. They wanted to kind of do something that addressed that. The comments that we have is I'd like to and included in the conditions of approval is that along those two elevations that there be a little bit more articulation in the building itself, so it's not just a flat surface, especially because it is right off the off-ramp. This first thing people see. Wanted to give them something that was a little bit interesting. I've spoken with the architect. He is amenable to providing some treatments there along those two facades, as well as come together with some alternatives or enhanced palette for the landscaping there along that along those two frontages. So I wanted to point that out, and that has been included within the conditions of approval. One of the areas, as noted, that they are requesting a Type 20 license for beer and wine. This is within Census Tract 46.04. In the exhibit here, the black line delineates the boundaries of the census tract. As you can see, it's a rather large census tract. It covers a large geography. The rectangular square in the middle of the exhibit is where the proposed site is, or where the project site is. Just as a point of reference, the red circle is I drew a 1 mile radius from that property and circled around it. So as you can see, within that census tract, I've listed the 6 off-sale licenses that are within the census tract, and the radius kind of gives you a proximity of how close or how far they may be. In the past, we've showed an exhibit where we would strike a 1/4 mile radius, if you recall, a 1/4 mile radius from the site. But I thought because of the size of the census tract and the locations, I thought I wanted to give a broader perspective of where those ABC licenses are. As part of our process, as I mentioned, and was included in the staff report, the application was routed to the police department. This particular census tract through ABC requirements allows for, looking at my notes here real quick, allows for 3 ABC off-sale licenses. There's currently 6 in the within the census tract, and these are the 6 that are highlighted there below. This would be the 7th within the area. The police department has routed it. Fortunate enough that this is actually an area that does not have an excessive crime rate. I think the threshold is pretty close to what our target is for citywide. The police department actually has, they're in support of this project. They have no opposition to a license being issued at this location. So I wanted to cover that a little bit. This is a couple of exhibits here. This is looking on Highland Avenue. This is in proximity to the freeway as you're going to the east. As you can see, the project site is on the right-hand side. You may notice a kind of an older chain link fence there. That's essentially the boundary of the property. We have a little bit of a drainage channel that's a facility there provided between I believe Public Works, but I think it's primarily for Caltrans for the right-of-way drainage. So that was one of the items that we had to resolve, and kind of what took some time of the application was to kind of make sure that everyone was on the same page in terms of improvements and what was going to be maintained and how. So this is looking towards the east on Highland Avenue. The next slide is from the site. The site is on the left-hand side, and this is going in the westerly direction. Again, summarizing our analysis, in reviewing the project, it does comply. It is consistent with our general plan for the general commercial zone, which encourages commercial uses to serve not just the city but the surrounding neighborhood and community. It also complies with the development standards of the commercial general zone in regards to setback, parking, the amount of landscaping and such, building heights and things. Again, with the ABC license, we do allow for, or ABC allows for 3 without a requirement for the public convenience or necessity letter. Anything above 3 licenses does require this particular additional item to be attached to the exhibit. So when the applicant files their application with ABC, they attach the resolution saying that the Planning Commission had considered that particular item. Again, the police department did review the project, and they had no objection to the issuance of a license at this particular location. With that, concludes my presentation. I leave you with our recommendation that the Planning Commission consider adopting Resolution 2020-009, which would be for the adoption of the negative declaration and the approval of conditional use permit 17-30 and public convenience or necessity letter 18-06 based on the finding of facts and subject to the recommended conditions of approval. I would be glad to answer any questions. I know that the architect and his team are also viewing the item and available to answer any project-specific questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you all.
You're welcome.
Oh, yes, Stephanie.
Chair, if I may, I'm going to go ahead and let the applicants in so they can address any of those questions. If you just give me a moment, I'm going to go ahead and admit them into the meeting.
Perfect. I know we kind of veered off a little bit our initial plan of opening public comments prior to hearing the staff report. So with that staff report, I will actually hereby open public hearing for item number 2. Were there any comments by the public made on this, Stephanie?
There were no public comments for this item.
Okay, perfect. So we will hear from the applicant if they wanted to add anything to Oliver's report. From there, I will actually call the commissioners down by ward to ask any questions that they may have. So does the applicant have any comments to add, or?
Are you there, Jay?
Oh, you'll have to unmute yourself. You're kind of muted.
Done. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening to everyone. Thank you for being patient with me.
Okay, so I'm going to go down kind of by ward and commissioner. So Commissioner Guerrero, do you have any?
No, sorry about that. No questions. Looks like a wonderful project for that area.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Commissioner Quill?
Yes, thank you. I do have a couple of questions and a comment. First of all, Oliver mentioned that they were intending on putting a signal light on Davidson. My feelings are Davidson and that intersection are pretty close together, and that traffic does travel through there pretty quickly coming off that overpass. Is that going to be a problem?
Well, we did have a traffic study that analyzed that, and that's kind of one of those, how do I want to put it? Maybe I don't mean to put Alex on the spot kind of thing, but it was one of those that would be beneficial, I would say. And so there's the there was a discussion as the pro rata share of how the cost associated with that. They're not necessarily responsible for the cost of the entire installation. It would be something that would be shared by future projects as they go in there. But again, we wanted to kind of address that. Originally, that we weren't going to line the driveway with the intersection, and the concern was that if someone was coming out of that driveway, they would conflict with traffic turning out from the street, turning out onto Highland Avenue. So that's kind of where our analysis ended up.
Yeah, I understand. I just know there's an issue there, and there was an issue about that stoplight. Originally, there were a lot of citations issued because of the traffic coming off of the overpass there, and so on. So it just seems like awful close for two stoplights back to back. That'd be timed pretty well. Oliver, I like your suggestion about the architecture of the building as you're coming down that overpass, and you'll be able to view that whole project. It's a nice project, but I think we need some architectural elements in there to make it look, a little more inviting.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, that's what I had to say.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Commissioner. All right. Well, Liang's not here. So Commissioner Jones, do you have any comments on this item?
Yeah, I have no questions for the applicant. I've looked over the staff report and the agenda packet, and everything looks good. I'm glad to see that we're doing something with that dirt field. I think it's always great when we're able to take a dirt field or undervalued or underutilized lot and turn it into something that's usable and positive for the community. So thank you for your application, Mr. Nelson, and you have my support.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Thank you for that.
Commissioner Wilbert, do you have any comments on this item? Oh, if they could unmute him for a moment.
I'm not able to unmute him.
Do we know if he could hear us?
I think he can hear it. Commissioner Wilbert?
Can you hear us?
I don't know that he can. Commissioner Wilbert, can you unmute your video?
Commissioner Wolbert, if you're looking at the screen, take your mouse cursor and go to the bottom left corner and there's a button there that says mute.
Michael, can you help him?
I was just going to
Actually,
suggest
the
I'll go
mute-
down there right now.
Thank you.
I think Alex just went to help him.
Oh, okay.
He's
Okay.
right
I
next
think you're
to us.
unmuted now. Commissioner Wolbert, go ahead and speak. Oh, you just muted yourself again.
Press that same button.
So you can talk if you have any questions about the item.
Okay, now
Oh,
we,
in that corner, okay.
You got it?
Got it. We on? Yeah. I agree with the architectural effects. I think that that's very important to the overall view coming into the city. I think that'd be a very important issue. Out of curiosity, has there been a financial study of what this project would give to in tax revenue directly to the city? Is there any studies on that?
We actually do not require that or include that as part of our application process.
But it certainly is going to help.
Well, there will be new sales tax and gas taxes generated up if we go from a vacant lot to this development, but we don't have the dollar amount of what it's going to generate.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right. If we could hear from Commissioner Chang. Do you have any comments about this item?
No, I do not have any comments. Thank you. I'm good with this project.
Perfect. All right. Commissioner Jaramillo? Oh, if you could unmute
you're
yourself.
still muted.
All right, sorry about that. I do have a couple just comments and a couple questions. I think that it looks like it's a good project, and I'd agree with my other commissioners saying that it will come and benefit the city of San Bernardino. The question I have, two questions. When would construction begin? I guess for the owner, and then
This is Ezer, and it will start as soon as we get the permits. We have everything, finances all squared out. As soon as we get the permit, we will definitely start right away.
Okay, and then the other question, just because I was reading through what was sent, it said measure, you have to get a qualified Native American monitor. I just want to know if that person has been selected.
Actually, that's part of the process, and to answer your question, yes, as part of our processing, we have a couple of items. We have AB 52 and SB 18. Those are the state requirements that requires us to notify the local tribes, make our environmental document available to them, I should say. They respond, provide us with their standard conditions of approval, and that's that condition. That's where that comes from. They have their standard language that anytime there is excavation and such that are ready to begin, that they be notified, and that it's essentially up to them to they come out and do the monitoring. We don't do that for them.
Got it. Okay, I just want to get a little bit more clarification on that, and then thank you for bringing it.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. And all right, so it'll go to me. So thank you, Oliver, for actually clarifying that southwest kind of corner. I was wondering what's going to be done because there is that empty space. So a wall is going to be made. The facade would look really good. Looking over the plans, it follows the city's general plan. It has beautiful landscaping with all the plants and the trees. It looks like a great project. I do have a few questions about the restaurant. It's just a drive-through restaurant, or could you give me a little more clarification to that?
We don't have any more specific information on that. It could be one of any of the fast food guys, I'm going to say. And so there has been no indication of which one it's going to be. It's essentially a spec building for that.
Okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if there was going to be sit-in at all So I just wanted to make
I'm
sure
sure
that,
there will be some seating in there, as most drive-through restaurants. You know, there's usually a counter and there's some seats in there. You know, whether I don't want to, you know, mention or pick on any one particular, but you know, you have, you know, Taco Bell, you know, Carl's Jr. and those types. I mean, they always have a drive-through and they have a place where you can sit down and eat as well. And so
yes.
it's kind of, they're kind of leaving their options open, if you will.
Yes, just wanted to make sure that, you know, there was all the correct amenities, because I was looking at the pictures and I was kind of like, is this going bathroom? Is this, I know where the kitchen's at, I can see that, but the rest seems a little bit open.
No, and the plans are always, there's always subject to change on the plans, you know. So I mean, you know, the code does allow us, you know, if they've got to move some walls and do this and that, you know, to accommodate a tenant. That's common, you know. That's a common practice, you know, when it's by the time it gets to construction drawings. But we'll see. We'll keep our fingers crossed on who's opens.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, everything was still open for that. And then you stated that the adding of like a facade or something kind of interesting representing San Bernardino, as it is one of the portals, that is already added into the agenda, correct?
Yeah, there is a condition of approval, and
Because I was going through it and I was kind of like, I think I may have read it, and I've just been kind of like, I wonder what this really means.
I did put it in there. You know, the resolution involves a lot of conditions, but one of them I specifically put it up towards the front of our conditions, where one of them talks about the building elevations, and the condition specifically reads, number 4, in compliance with the design guidelines of the freeway overlay, and due to the project site's proximity to the freeway, the building elevation on the western elevation of the proposed convenience store will be required to incorporate articulated surfaces and features to enhance the visual aesthetics along the freeway and West Highland Avenue. And that's included. And so the review of that is subject to the review and approval of the planning division and director. And then the next item, referencing the same freeway overlay zone, talks about the landscape area along that same location.
Perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was in our resolutions there. And my final question is actually on the ABC license. I was looking at the police report, and on the second page, it stated that the ABC license, as it is slightly, it has quite a few in the area, that it would be bought from an existing type 20 business.
Yes.
At your suggestion, correct?
Well, we've a lot of our current applicants, they've been following along. They know, and we have these initial conversations, and based on previous planning commission meetings and things, we know that the planning commission has had a preference for not bringing new ABC licenses into the city. Rather, maybe there's one that's you know, someone doesn't need somewhere else, or it's kind of keeping it, you know, within the area. And I guess there are some options which we haven't been too critical. It's like, well, can we keep it within the census tract, within the city, or within the county, kind of a thing. And so yeah, so the idea is they're not going to generate a brand new one with the state. They're going to I don't know where they're going to acquire it from, but that's not necessarily a condition of approval. That's just something that they offer up themselves in as part of their application to kind of help their project, if you will.
Yes, I think that's actually a great thing, because, you know, there is actually quite a saturation or oversaturation, I should say, of ABC licenses, and they're on almost every corner. So we want to make sure that if they are getting one, it is an existing one, so it's not just adding more and multiplying. So
okay,
that's a wonderful idea. So thank you. And actually, that's it. Aside from that, I want to say thank you and welcome to the city. This looks like a great project. Is there any other comments by commissioners? Yes.
Madam Chair, I just recommend that we ask the applicant if they agree with all the conditions of approval.
Okay. Yes. So if we can actually ask the applicant, do you approve like everything that we've suggested about adding something kind of for that portal? I know it's one of the added items.
Yes.
Perfect. So does another commissioner have any other comments on this item at this time?
Through the chair, Stephanie.
Yes.
I have a question. This is one of them I was going to bring up a minute ago, but with the situation we're dealing with now in the community with the drive-through restaurants and the backed up lines, has any extra consideration been given to additional parking or the amount of area that is provided for a drive-through? You certainly wouldn't want that drive-through leading out into Highland Avenue. So I don't know if they've allowed enough room for that or what kind of conditions are required to actually have a drive-through.
Well, our development code requires that you have a queue of 7 parking stalls, or parking spaces, I mean, the queue itself.
Okay.
Okay, and then when we look at site plans, we ensure that the drive-through, well, the code does not allow you to have the drive-through empty out directly into the street. You know, when you come out, you go to your drive-through, you grab your stuff. It doesn't allow you to go straight into the street. You have to make a maneuver of some sort and then go out. That's for the exit. Likewise for the entrance, we don't allow driveways and drive-throughs, you know, directly. So we have a few older ones in town. I won't mention any names. Right. Where we know that where the cars queue out onto the street, and so our code does address that. And when we review applications, we keep that in mind. And so in this particular case, if we were Stephanie, if you don't mind going back, if you could find the site plan, is probably the 4th or 5th slide, just as a point of reference, if we could do that easy enough. So if you're looking at the exhibit here, so we'll start with the car wash first. You know, so you would obviously you'd come from the street, and you drive back, you'd go like in front of, we'll say in front of the convenience store, and then pull all the way around, and then kind of do a little bit of U-turn and go in from the back of the car wash facility. Likewise with the drive-through restaurant on the far side. As you can see, the driveway, if you can see, there's kind of like the squiggly lines that's showing kind of like the diesel trucks coming out. Right. Coming out. That's where that driveway is. So as you can see, you know, they would have to come in, drive quite a ways to get back in, and actually the queue is over to the left a little bit, kind of in the middle of the site, if you can see that there. Okay. And it kind of brings them all the way around. And so one of the things that we look at when there's multiple drive-throughs and you have a car wash in this is what we call conflict of vehicles. Mm-hmm. And I will admit, sometimes I use myself as the judge of character as to how would I drive through this site, how would I try to get from point A to point B. And when it's a clear logical path of how someone should drive through the site, and we pretty much without putting cones and arrows everywhere, you know, it's pretty obvious how you get back there or how you get into the drive-through. And so specifically because we are on Highland Avenue, we wanted to make sure we get them off the street, right, and then get them in through the site safely and away from other cars as much as possible. That's why you can see there's almost like a tunnel effect there for that drive-through for the drive-through, and it's so those are some of the things. So to answer your question, yes, we do look at queuing and things. Of course, we were looking at this before March when now everyone's using drive-through. So there's you know, so with, you know, if I was able to forecast that, I'd be somewhere else, I guess, right now. And but you know, it's something that we'll start to look at, and as you know, we're going through. We have an RFP out to update our general plan and our development code. This may be something undoubtedly that we start to look at, maybe before we didn't look at that, you know, and what's the city's position on drive-throughs in general. And so I hope I wasn't too long-winded, but long and short of it, we did address that, and that's how we did that.
Thank you, Oliver.
You are welcome.
Yes. Mr. Nelson.
Well, thank you for spending some time with me. I just wanted to address Commissioner Quill's issue.
I'm quite proud of my client, Mr. Rizek, and in this land planning, even far beyond what we're up against in today's world. If you really study the queuing for this fast food, let alone the car wash, this is far exceeds, I'm going to emphasize that again, far exceeds your city code standard. It's my goal as a designer that there's a few coffee drive-throughs that their queuing ends up in the street frequently. And again, if you really study the site plan, you'll see that I'm almost double the required queuing for this car wash. And pardon me for being a little gooey at this time. I also like to take this moment rapidly. Dealing with staff at these times, and I totally appreciate all the efforts that staff has done. Every person that's on the screen, let alone the ones that aren't on the screen, has been so helpful. And commissioners and chair, I really appreciate you taking this time and energy to have this virtual meeting. I really thank you, and I'm quite sure that Mr. Rizek echoes everything that I've said.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure. Is anyone else have any questions or comments? If not, I will hereby close public hearing. The time is 6:44, and I will entertain a motion for item number 2.
I'd like to make a motion to approve agenda item number 2 as read into the record.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
So we have a motion, we have a second. If we could have a roll call vote. Stephanie?
Commissioner Guerrero.
Aye.
Chair Sanchez.
Yes.
Commissioner Quill.
Aye. Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Wolbert.
Aye.
Commissioner Chang.
Aye.
Commissioner Jaramillo.
Aye.
The vote is unanimous.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
We
Thank
thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
So we'll let Stephanie do her little change there for a moment. And I will open public hearing item number 3.
I'm going to go ahead and let in a few more applicants, and then I can get into public comment.
Wonderful. Once you're ready, just give me the cue.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to start by reading in our public comment letter that we received, and then I also have a voicemail to play.
Perfect.
So the letter that we have comes from a resident, Consuelo Ramirez, and her comment in the letter was, I am the trust owner for the property located at 1123 East Central Avenue in San Bernardino. I am writing to express my opposition to the building of another service station with an alcoholic beverage control license at the northeast corner of Central Avenue in South Tippecanoe. The area already has a service station that sells alcoholic beverages on the southwest corner of Central Avenue in South Tippy. Ever since the establishment opened, there has been an increase of pedestrian traffic in front of my residents traveling to the business. Many of these individuals are homeless transients who have no regard for the safety of residents and discard their trash in front of our homes on Central leading to the business. I see these same people walking to the service station numerous times during the same day. Many approach customers and beg for money. Postal thefts, verbal altercations, and dumping incidences have been reported to the authorities. Adding to the situation are the truckers who ignore the no commercial traffic parking signs and parking in front of our residences and visit the service station. Additionally, numerous major traffic collisions have occurred caused by speeding employees late for work at the warehouses on East Central. As this is a high traffic area, safety is compromised and when customers attempt to leave the service station. Central Avenue used to be a quiet area. As warehouses and service stations were constructed, life at times is untenable. We can no longer leave our windows and doors open during the heat because we have to put the loud homeless people idling loudly and polluting the air in front of our homes and dogs barking at strangers. People, ask yourselves, would you like living in such an environment? Please protect our quality of life and vote no on the construction for another unnecessary business in the area. Next, I will play a voicemail we received from a constituent.
Hi, my name is Art Guerrero, A-R-T-G-U-E-R-R-E-R-O. I'm calling in opposition to the Planning Commission's recommendation that they build a gas station on the corner of Central and Tippecanoe. I reside at 1123 East Central Avenue, probably 200 yards away from our already existing AM/PM there. We need no more gas stations. You know, I didn't really oppose the first one that came out because I grew up here and we never had any type of little store or what have you to buy things. And I thought, well, that's pretty good. I'm not going to oppose that one. It was the AM/PM because pobrecito gente, the poor people here, this is very, very, how shall I say, impoverished area. The residents here needed it. And I said, well, let's go for it. You know, I didn't oppose that one. I was wrong, though. They're open 24/7. And we have had problems with people moving in. I mean, up and down the street, trash strewn everywhere. I used to pick up the trash in front of my house, but I just can't do it no more because of my health. So my sister has to do it. You know, they throw bottles, cans, you name it, potato chips, bags, wrappers, candy, and what have you around here. And a second one, why do we need two? Why do I need 16 pumps right there on that corner? If you want to take a tour of the valley here, you have, if you don't want to go there to buy beer, you can go to Waterman, turn right on Mill, and you have another AM/PM there. Across the street is a 7-Eleven. Next door is a liquor store, Mill Street Liquor. There's too much alcohol and stuff like that. I don't know, you know, how would you like to live around here full of that stuff? It's crazy, and I'm done with it. We need no more stores that sell liquor around our houses. I guess that's all I got to say, but
and that's the end of the message.
Perfect. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. So at this point, we'll listen to the staff report.
Yes, Commissioners. Item number 3 involves conditional use permit 18-05 and public convenience or necessity letter number 18-04. The property is located on the northwest corner of Central Avenue and South Tippecanoe Avenue, generally across the street from the airport. It's within the industrial light zone. It contains approximately 2.73 acres. The proposal, it's not a duplicate of the other project. There may be some similarities. I won't mention that's the same architect, similar development team, different project applicant or owner, I should say, though. So the project involves a service station, 8 fuel islands, a convenience store. They are requesting the ABC license. There's going to include a quick serve restaurant. I left out by, there should also be a small retail space included in there. There's also a restaurant with a drive-through and a drive-through express car wash. This is a rendering of the site. This would be looking from Central Avenue, kind of looking towards the northeast. And again, these are the elevations would be the same for all 3 buildings. This is an aerial of the site showing the property location. Again, for reference to the right across Tippecanoe is the airport. We have Central Avenue to the south there, and across the street there at that corner, Tippecanoe and Central, is the existing ARCO station. As you can see, the zoning around the property is light industrial. This is the site plan, where we have the convenience store, quick serve restaurant, and the little retail space, primarily on the corner piece of the property at Tippecanoe and Central. You'll see the fuel pump canopies are fronting Central Avenue. So access to the site will come in. There's one driveway on Tippecanoe that is right in and right out only. Then as you come across, you'll see that there are there's 3 driveways that are along Central Avenue. One essentially between the right at the left edge of the fuel pumps. There's one in the middle, kind of in the center, lines up primarily almost to the center of the car wash, and the other one is more towards the west, closer to the drive-through restaurant. Again, I will note, similar to the other layout, where there has been attention to the location of the drive-throughs, the queuing areas, and again to ensure that we not only have a safe vehicle travel through the site, but also keep in mind that there are some paths of travel and such for pedestrians and customers on the site. This is the floor plan for the convenience store. As you can see to the right, the middle square is a speculative space for the quick serve restaurant, and then we have a small retail store on the left side of the building. And we don't have any indication of what those spaces may be. These are the elevations of the top one is for the convenience store. The one in the middle is for the express drive-through car wash, and the one on the lower portion of the slide is for the drive-through restaurant. Again, they all have similar architectural style, color themes, and materials. This is the landscaping plan showing the project site, which complies with our requirements. The project is within Census Tract 72. Again, this census tract runs pretty far distance. You can see the square in the middle of the circle. That's pretty much highlights approximately where the project site is. The red circle again is the 1 mile radius strike. The black outline is the outline of the census tract. Keep in mind that this census tract also includes the Hospitality Lane area, which is the reason why there's the listing of is the 4 off-sale licenses that are within a mile of the project site, and then within this census tract, ABC allows for a total of 4 licenses. There is a total of 9 ABC licenses in the census tract, and again, keep in mind that it also includes Sam's Club, Costco, and some of the other stores that are down there. I believe there's a 7-Eleven store there that's on hospitality, and and Waterman as well. So a lot of the, so we have the 4 that are within the 1 mile radius, and then the other 5 are kind of down below in the hospitality zone area. And so again, this item was also processed and reviewed by the police department. They actually, in their memo to us, and that was attached in your staff report, they are supportive of this application because, like I mentioned, because most of them are down south in the hospitality area, and that the crime in that reporting district is not high. So they actually supported this application. Again, this is looking north on Tippecanoe. The project site is there, that vacant lot that's on the left-hand side. We have the airport on the right. We are looking east. So the project site is on the left-hand side where you see the trees there. You have the ARCO station, the existing ARCO station to the right, and then directly ahead and up ahead and to the left is the start of the airport. Again, this is the exhibit that's looking west on Central Avenue project site on the right-hand side, and the other service station on the left-hand side. Again, this is looking south with the project site on the right-hand side. Again, in analyzing the project, again, it is consistent with the policies of the general plan. It complies with the standards for the industrial light zone for this type of development. Again, make reference to the ABC licenses. Of the 9 that are out there, only 4 are within a 1 mile radius. And I did want to point out the difference between this and the other one is the police department actually supports the issuance of the ABC license at this location. With that concludes my presentation. There was a mitigated negative declaration that was prepared for this that analyzed all the potential environmental impacts. So we have the mitigation monitoring program that's included in the resolution, and we're also recommending that you adopt the resolution 20-20-019, adopting the mitigated negative declaration and approving CUP 1805 and public convenience or necessity letter 1804, based on the finding of fact and subject to the recommended conditions of approval. That concludes my presentation. Jay Nelson, who was representing the applicant, he's still with us and can answer any questions if you have of him related to the project. That concludes my presentation. I'd be glad to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. Okay. The public hearing has already been opened. That's how we were able to hear the public comment. We'll hear from the applicant at this time if they want to add anything, and then we'll go down the list with the commissioners. Does the applicant have any comments they want to add?
No, we don't really want to add anything. We really appreciate you including us on this meeting. Thank you so much for all of the people that worked on that. Thank you very much again.
Welcome.
Thank you. All right, so we'll start with Commissioner Guerrero.
Oh, I believe Mr. Nelson has a question.
Ms. Sanchez?
Yes.
The civil engineer, Doug Goodman, has been waiting to be joined in just in case any of the commissioners have any questions for the civil engineer. So just FYI on that.
Oh, okay.
And Mr. Mojica has done a wonderful presentation for this project, and I'm hoping that all the commissioners and chair can see the wisdom in this design of this project. And if you have any specific questions, I'm available to answer those for you.
All right, perfect. Thank you. All right. Do you have any questions, Commissioner Guerrero, on this item?
Yes, thank you so much. Now, will this station be a 24-hour, 7 days a week operational?
Yes, it will.
So it'll be a 24/7. Alcohol and beer sales only, or are we?
It's beer and wine only.
Beer and wine.
And of course, the beer and wine that's not sold 24 hours. There's limitation on the sale of that alcohol.
Right. Thank you. Those were my only questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Quill?
Thank you. I am curious, not that it probably matters in this project, but is this going to be another ARCO, or what is the oil company intended to be?
At this point, there is an agreement waiting to be signed for a 7-Eleven fuel.
Okay, all right. And you don't have any prospective tenants for those buildings alongside that front elevation as of yet?
Yes, Commissioner Quill, that is correct. And as you well know, it's always an advantage to get a project approved through the city first, because we both know national chains. And again, this developer always goes for national chains. Until the question of when can I start my construction documents, until that question can be answered, most of them stay at bay.
I agree with you. I was just curious.
Yes, you bet.
Looks like a nice project, and it looks like you've got plenty of room to develop that area. So it looks good.
Well, thank you. It's going to fit a real nice niche in that area.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, I have no further questions for the applicant. I also read the staff report and looked at the support documents. I will be supporting this project, and thank you again for your contributions to the city.
All right. Commissioner Wilbert, any comments?
It looked like a good project. I can see revenue coming into the city, which I like, and I like the overall approach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Chang?
I support the project. Although I am slighted by the neighbors, the folks who live there on the Off Central, based upon the voicemail and the opposition voice. You know, sounds to me there's maybe some security issues or concerns over there, because was there a mention of increase of homelessness due to the ARCO AM PM? I don't know. I thought I heard something like that. You know.
I would like to point out that our conditions of approval does require for maintenance of the property, and so it also allows for us to evaluate projects. You know, there's that standard condition about, you know, for a 2-year period or such, you know, that we monitor to make sure that they operate the way that they're supposed to be operating. You know, cleanliness, graffiti removal, trash, loitering, those kinds of things. Specifically, because in the cases where there's an alcohol application attached to it, to my knowledge, there has been no complaints, issues, or violations that have been pursued at the ARCO station. So you know, they've been operating as a good neighbor, based on what I've seen, and lack of any written correspondence. You know, specifically, if I may, you know, problems people are raising, you know, they're not operating the way they're supposed to be, or they're doing this or that. And so so I think that that they keep their house in order, if you will, the ARCO station, and our expectation would be that this project or any of the other new projects that we have do the same thing. That's why we have those conditions, you know, so it gives us a mechanism that if you develop something and it creates a problem, we have a way of to remedy whatever that might be.
Right.
So
that's good to hear. It is an industrial zone, and I think that the corner lot is good for this project. It's nice to see that vacant lot being developed.
Right.
Nice architecture on it too. So yeah, I do actually support the project, and hopefully you would not, instead of what's the word I want to use, minimize or diminish the safety and also other aspects, the positive aspects of streetscape, but enhance and then contribute to the city.
Great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Jaramillo?
Yep. I think that it's also a good project for the area as far as it being close to the airport, depending on what or how the area gets developed in the future around there. So I think it's a good project. The only other question I would have is once if it gets approved, once it's approved, how soon would construction begin?
I'd like to answer that. The developer on this is so excited about this project and so positive about this location. He's already authorized me to start construction documents. So he's in full speed ahead.
Got it. Sounds good. Those only comments and questions that I had. Thank you very much.
Perfect. So I do have actually a few comments. Like the other commissioners said, it does look like a good project. Having it across from the other one, it does create a little bit, competition, but that's healthy and that's good, especially since it's close to the airport. And then not knowing exactly what's going into the retail and everything, that's okay. We're hoping something will go in soon. I do have a few questions on the track map or the site map. You have the second and third parcel untouched. Is there an idea of what's going to be done there, or is that just left to the trees?
No, there's if you look at the
or are those pointing down into, like, those are the corners or the edges?
Would you mind going back to show that there's the aerial, if you don't mind, in the PowerPoint? So there's there's three properties there. So there's essentially, if you line up the stepped lot lines on the top, just project those two lines in the middle there straight down, and that gives you generally your parcels. And so there's three properties on the site, and that's what's going to be did. The owner does not own the trees around it.
Okay, just making sure, because I was seeing kind of, it was saying parcels, within the drawing, and then it said parcels above it, and I was like, wait, are we not touching those? What's going on? But thank you for that clarification.
You're welcome.
And then it looks pretty well, just like Commissioner Jaramillo said, and everything for the airport. The ABC license, as the neighbors were saying, there is, an oversaturation. They said an increase of 250% in members allowed in the area. But again, staff did a great report on it, saying, Costco's in the area, Sam's, the restaurants, that's taking up a lot of those numbers. So, so that worry is actually kind of taken a little bit as well. So I think that's it. Does anyone have any other comments on this?
I have a question about the car wash. Is it going to be maybe those newer style of car washes that you're seeing in different areas, or is it just, you insert a card, or more like a membership?
Well, again, this car wash is state of the art. It is a strong move for express car washes to go 100 foot in length, and that's exactly what this one is, including with vacuum stations. So again, this is state of the art, brand new, to meet and beat the competition that's in the area.
Got it. All right, thank you.
Any other comments? If not, I will hereby close public hearing for this item. It is 7:12, and I will entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve agenda item number 3, adopting resolution number 2020-019, approving the conditional use permit 18-05 and public convenience or necessity letter 18-04 based on the findings of fact and subject to the recommended conditions of approval, and adopting the mitigated negative declaration under the California Environmental Quality Act and any other modifications read into the record.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Stephanie, if you could do a vote. Roll call.
First, can I clarify who the second was? I saw both Commissioner Quill and Commissioner Guerrero wanting to make the second.
Either way.
Okay, I'll take Commissioner Guerrero. That's the one I heard the best. Okay. So we have a yes for Commissioner Guerrero. Chair Sanchez?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Quill?
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wolbert?
Yes.
Commissioner Chang?
Yes.
Commissioner Jaramillo?
Yes.
Okay, the vote is unanimous.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate everybody that have worked through that. Thank you very much again, everybody.
Thank you. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you again.
Can I,
Appreciate it. And I hope you all of you guys stay safe, and we'll maybe see you face to face.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Nelson, you have a comment?
Yes, again, I really, at the risk of being careful, I really appreciate everyone at the city's help. Mr. Mojica, Mr. Rosales, Ms. Sanchez, just because you're on the screen, has just been fantastic to see to it that lost time is being made up. And I really appreciate everyone's efforts. And Chair Sanchez, you and the fellow commissioners are doing a wonderful job with this virtual. So thank you for all your time, and do me one favor. Everyone be healthy, be safe.
Thank you. Same to you, Mr. Nelson.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson.
All right. So we will move on to the next item. We will open public hearing for item number 4. Stephanie, is there any public comments on this item?
Not on this item. I have invited in the applicant for this one, so Ed Bondeman is on with us.
Perfect.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Ed.
How are you guys?
You're doing well.
Oh, all right. So I believe Commissioner Wolbert took a break there. Do we still have quorum, Albert?
Yes, we still have quorum.
Perfect. All right. So we will continue. We will actually hear the staff report and then continue on from there.
Yes, Commissioners, we have the item number 4, which is extension of time, number 20-01. It's for tentative track map 17170. This project was originally approved in February of 2009. The applicant is requesting, this is the third request for an extension. The property contains approximately 16 acres for 27 single-family residential lots and a remainder parcel. It's generally located on the north side of West Foothill Boulevard and west of North Terrace Road. The property occupies 3 zones, which would be residential suburban, residential medium, and commercial general, CG1. This shows the zoning map of the project site. You can see the black line outlines the property contained in this parcel, in this track map. We have an aerial showing the location, and this is the actual map. And Stephanie, before you move on to the final slide, please, I did want to mention that that although this is a third request, the applicant is actually has been working diligently to final the map. And as I mentioned, the application was originally approved in February, and so the application for the extension of time, you have to file an extension at least a month before it expires in order to kind of get you in the queue for consideration kind of thing. Otherwise, your map expires and you lose everything kind of a thing. He's been close to record that final map for several months now, and we've kind of been holding on to this. And this, lack of a better description, the extension, the request for the extension was more kind of like for insurance. It is ready to go to the city council for approval of the final map. I did want to mention that it's going to the city council, so it will be on your agenda of June the 3rd, which is next month. And so this action may be moot, but in any event, we're moving forward with this, and at the end of the day, the project's going to be final. The map's going to be final next month sometime, and they'll be able to record it and move forward. I just wanted to point that out. I know there's been a question in the past about what, extensions of times and how many and how long and what are you going to do and when are you going to do it. So I just kind of wanted to address that. So it's a relief that we have one that's actually ready to record, and we just want to do this kind of like for insurance, lack of a better description. And so with that concludes my presentation. As Stephanie indicated, Ed Bonneman is on the line. Our recommendation is that the Planning Commission consider adopting Resolution 2020-020, finding the categorical exemption and approving extension of time 20-01 for map 17170. That concludes my report. I'd be glad to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver.
You're welcome.
Okay. We have open public hearing. So we'll go down the list. Does the applicant first have any comments to say or to add to the report?
Nope. I just want to thank staff for moving this thing along. I think Gary Akers for getting it on the agenda for next month, and I think that's the most facial hair I've ever seen Oliver have.
Oh, you didn't see me 2 weeks ago.
All right, perfect. So we will start with Commissioner Guerrero. Any comments?
No comments, no questions.
All right, Commissioner Quill?
No, I have no comments. Thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Larry.
Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, I have no comments. I'm going to be supporting this item. Thank you.
Commissioner Wilbert?
Normally, I've been a little bit against this kind of extension, but I think from what I hear now, I think this is a good project. Thank you.
Perfect. Commissioner Chang?
None.
No? Commissioner Jaramillo?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. Ed, how you doing?
Good.
I just, it says 27 residential homes. They're going to be houses, not manufactured homes or anything else, right?
Well, we don't have I don't know if they have a product yet. Right now, it's just individual lots.
Okay.
And right now, we're only trying to record phase 1, which is the north phase. And then the bottom half is against Foothill Boulevard. That's phase 2, and that will be recorded later. So we are in the for our June meeting. It'll be all the lots to the north, and the product they put them on them is their product. I don't think there's any plan for the product yet. Could it be a manufactured home? I don't know. I don't know if the city would allow it. It's possible.
If I may add to that, the Commission should consider that our code does require that the developer and/or applicant would be required to file what we call a development permit, where the applicant would come back to the Planning Commission for consideration of the product of the homes to be constructed there.
Right.
So that part of the project will come back to the Planning Commission at a later date when they're ready to construct.
Got it. Well, I definitely think it's a good idea. What you're going to do there. As far as the extension, like you said, it's we're going to go to the city council. So we're just doing this to make sure everything goes through. But I hope everything turns out well. And thank you. Those are the only questions I have.
Thank you.
All right, perfect. So to me, I think most of those comments were about extensions were actually kind of directed to me, since I usually am kind of huffy about extending things. But since your project is actually going through, is going to city council, I have nothing against it. I was looking actually the track map. It actually looks really great. And I look forward to seeing something being made there soon. So yeah, if there's anyone else who has any other comments on this item, I see no hands. So I will hereby close public hearing for this item. The time is 7:22 p.m. And I will entertain a motion for this item.
I'd like to make a motion approving agenda item number 4 as read into the record by staff.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion, we have a second. Stephanie, if you could do the vote call.
Commissioner Guerrero,
Aye.
Chair Sanchez,
Aye.
Commissioner Quill,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilbur,
Aye.
Commissioner Chang,
Aye.
Commissioner Jaramillo.
Aye.
The item is approved. The vote is unanimous.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations, Ed.
Thank you all very much. Thank you for doing this like this and keeping everything moving forward. It's very important that you do this, and thank you. It's great. And I don't mind doing this from now on. Then I don't have to drive to meetings, and we can all just stay home.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ed.
You have a good evening.
Good night.
All right. So we're going to go on to item number 5. At this point, will open public hearing. Stephanie, is there any public comments?
No public comment for this item. I have admitted into the meeting the applicant, so they are here for questions after the presentation.
Perfect. All right. So if we could get the staff report.
I'm sure that you're tired of hearing my voice for so long. So Michael Rosales of my team will be presenting item number 5, please.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's staying healthy and safe. Item number 5 tonight will be a development permit P20-01. The proposed project is a request to allow the development of a commercial building approximately 2,000 square feet on an existing parcel containing approximately 0.16 acres. It is located 167 feet east of North Sepulveda Avenue at 220 East 40th Street within the Commercial General 1 CG1 zone. This is a rendering of the proposed building. As you could see, they have taken the time to make it look beautiful. We could see the landscaping in the front. They have really articulated and have come to terms with a modern look. So the analysis for DP20-01, it is a proposal for a ground-up 2,000 square foot commercial building with no prospective tenant at this time. The architectural design of the proposed building is modern and stylish with varied roof lines and projections incorporated into the facade. The design will incorporate what's called an Eldorado ledge-cut stone veneer, which accents the base of the proposed building, and it's all set over a La Habra color stucco molding, which is emphasized with aluminum Arcadia windows and a metal canopy to give it that modern building design. The off-street parking will be provided at the rear of the subject site behind the proposed building. It would have direct primary access via an enter-only driveway along East 40th Street on the eastern side of the building. Vehicles will exit the project site via the adjacent alley on the western side of the building, and the internal circulation has been designed to adequately accommodate on-site vehicular circulation and access to the off-street parking areas, which I'll show you later on in the site plan. There's designated paths to travel, and it has been determined that a traffic analysis is not required due to the size of the proposed building and the nature of the potential commercial land uses, which would be prospective administrative offices and professional services. The proposed commercial building is consistent with the policies of the city's general plan. It complies with the standards of the city's development code, in that it will create an economic benefit to an otherwise vacant and underutilized parcel, and has been designed to achieve visual interest and a clean landscaped commercial site. Here you see the location map. It is within the CG1. It is abutting residential. However, they have proposed landscaping towards the back area of their lot, which would incorporate defensive landscaping. They will also have a wrought iron gate that would only be accessible during business hours. After business hours, only the fire department and the owner would have Knox box access. Next, please. Here's the aerial map of the site. As you can see, it is a vacant parcel. It is surrounded by commercial uses along 40th Street, so it would be a perfect fit for that area. Here's the site looking north towards the 215 freeway. This would be the alley for the exit only of the site. Next, please. This would be looking west towards Highway 18. This would be looking east towards North Sierra Way. We could see Archie 1 at the gates there doing their analysis. This is looking south towards the 10 freeway. And here we have the site plan. I apologize, it is a little small. As you can see towards the back end of the parcel there, they do have it landscaped accordingly. They do have the right size 508 trash enclosure. They do meet the amount of required parking at 7 spaces. They do have landscape. They have 16% of the lower half of their parcel and another 18% of their upper half of their parcel. So basically they are over landscaped. However, they wanted to make it look beautiful. We also have corner treatments. So when you're driving down 40th Street, that side of view, line of sight, you will see a landscape accordingly across the alleyway and abutting 40th Street. Next, please. This is the floor plan. Being that they have no prospective tenant, it is just a retail space and an office with the proposed bathrooms. I will let the applicant speak more on that. Next, please. And our recommendation is that the Planning Commission adopt Resolution 2020-21, finding the categorical exemption and approving development permit P20-01 based on the findings of fact and subject to the recommended conditions of approval. That is all for my presentation. I can take any questions. I believe the applicant is online and ready to answer any questions if you have them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rosales.
Thank you.
Okay. At this point, I will actually open it up to the applicant. Does he have anything to add to the report?
Oh, no.
No? Okay. All right. So then, so we will go down the list with the commissioners. Commissioner Guerrero, any comments?
No. No questions. No comments. Thank you.
Commissioner Quill?
No, I have no comment.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I have no comments for this project.
Okay. Commissioner Wilbur?
Yes, that area needs a lot of help. This is a new structure. Architecturally, it's going to be a big asset to 40th Street. The 40th Street is a madhouse now. I don't know what can be done. I don't know if any traffic controls could do anything or to be considered in the future, but I think the project would be good for the 40th Street corridor anyway. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Commissioner Chang?
I'd agree with Commissioner Wilbur that it'll be a nice addition to 40th Street, especially that corner being vacant for city beautification. It will be a big contribution. However, I'm curious, got a question for the owner or the applicant. What is the intended use for this building? I know that the staff report stated it's retail. What type of retail? Can the owner give us some ideas? I'd like to hear it.
As far as I know, just the regular retail shop sell some products, small products, something like that.
Are you intending to sell vape smoking products? Another vape?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay.
If I may add, I believe the use of retail was just a very general term. I believe the applicant had meant to say any commercial general one feasible land use that would be applicable to that area.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a very big square footage for commercial retail shop. I'm just curious about what kind of shop you'll be. I mean, but in terms of architecturally, I don't have any objection to it. Just a concern about what kind of shop they'll put in our neighborhood.
Understood.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Jaramillo?
Yes, I think that it would be a good project here. I actually am going to live pretty close to this proposed location, so I'm very familiar with the area, the shops that are there, the newer shops that have opened. So it looks like it would be beneficial to the community, to have a nicer, newer structure there. So I think that it's a good location. Whatever business would end up being there, I believe, or I feel would be an asset. So I think that, we don't know what kind, what's going to be there yet, but I think it would be it's in a good location to whatever it is, be successful. That'll be all.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just echoing what my other fellow commissioners have said, I was wondering as well about the retail, since the spacing was a little bit smaller, but it's still up in the air at this moment. It looks good. It will definitely benefit the area, especially since it is a vacant area, vacant land. I have no problems with the project, so I think it'll be a good addition.
And just to add from staff, I do all the zoning verifications for the business license, so I would know exactly what kind of businesses are going into that business before they even try to, so I could keep everybody in the loop.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right. Do the commissioners have any other comments?
No.
No?
Oh,
Okay.
I do. Oh. I have one.
Yes.
Just with any proposed applicants, I just want to know how soon they plan on getting started.
I know that the owner would like to start construction maybe later this year or early next year. Yeah, and they would like to finish all the construction within 6 months.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes, perfect. So at this time, does anyone else have any other comments? If not, I will close a public hearing for this item, and I will entertain a motion. Yes, Commissioner Wilbert.
I make a motion that we accept development permit number type P20-01.
Do we have a second?
Second.
So we have a motion, we have a second. Stephanie, if we could have that roll call vote.
Commissioner Guerrero?
Aye.
Chair Sanchez?
Aye.
Commissioner Quill?
Aye.
Vice Chair Jones?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilbert?
Aye.
Commissioner Chang?
Aye.
And Commissioner Jaramillo?
Aye.
The item is approved. The vote is unanimous.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We made history today. First online PC for San Bernardino City. I'm proud of us.
We've done well, you guys. So let's.
I like this format.
I kind of like it too.
I don't have to drive anywhere. Sitting in my chair in my t-shirt, I'm very comfortable.
You can make the right decisions in comfortability.
Right. in a relaxed atmosphere.
Yes.
Exactly.
So do we have a planning commission report or announcements from anyone?
I don't have a report this time, but on another note, it's good to see you all. I'm glad to see everyone's doing well, and thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
I
Bye-bye.
have a question.
Yes, Commissioner Wilbert.
I'd like to thank Stephanie and Mitch for putting me up in their house today. I probably had the best shot in the world right here. I'm looking at everybody on a screen that's, I don't know, it's about 6 foot by 10 foot.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
Mr. Wilbur,
Good deal.
you know, I was thinking about how, you know, Zoom got hacked several weeks ago. There was a Zoom bomb. I don't know if you guys heard that. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you think the next meeting will be also Zoom, or we're not sure yet?
Yes, it will be.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, we like this.
And for the commission's benefit, you asked for an update. As we had let the planning commission know, we did put out a proposal to update the comprehensive general plan. That's out on the street. We do anticipate a number of submittals coming into the city. So by June, we will get proposals in. We'll go through those, and probably by the middle of July, we'll take the most qualified council for their consideration, and then we'll start to work on updating the general plan. This is a big project for all of us. As we get more into it, and once we identify what the schedule will be, we'll share that with the planning commission and let you how you can participate in that process. We're real
All right.
excited about it. The general plan is being funded by the state of California in 2 forms. One, we are getting $3 million from the state to update the general plan. We also applied for what's called SB2 grant funds. Did get confirmation that we're getting additional $150,000 in addition to the 3. So that should take care of everything we need to do with the general plan. So I thought I'd share that with you tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Hunley.
Thank you.
I don't have other comments, but thank you guys so much for attending. Oliver, Stephanie, Mr. Rosales, Mr. Huntley, thank you for making this happen, for being present. Albert, thank you for being our legal guru.
My pleasure. I did want to mention real quickly, tomorrow night, the city council will be considering our sign ordinance. If you recall that came to you, there was a nice presentation by our consultant on that item. So it will be presented before the city council tomorrow night. So if you want to look in and listen, a similar presentation by the consultant, but it's nice to see that we're getting close to adopting that thing. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. I just want to let you know that that's finally coming to fruition. And again, it's nice being back together here. Got the band back. And, our next meeting will be June the 9th, and so we'll have about the same amount of items on the agenda. Just so you know, we'll have 4 or 5 items that will be on there, just so you're aware. So we'll try not to overload you too much yet. Well,
Perfect. That sounds great.
The last thing we need is a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like
All right.
a motion to adjourn until June 9th at 6 p.m., our regular planning commission meeting.
I'll second that.
All right. So we have a motion. We have a second. I guess we have to do the vote roll call.
On this one, can we just do everybody say aye and we adjourn?
Yes, that's
Aye.
fine.
That sounds great. Aye.
Thank you.
Anything opposed?
All right. Perfect.
All right.
Thank
Everyone
you
have a
so
nice
much, everyone. Have a
Thank
great
you. Have a good
evening.
night.
Stay safe out there.
Thank you.
Everybody, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
everybody.